Hey, everybody, SSP Volleyball. Hello, this is Coach LaRose. I'm going to record this video for anyone who wasn't able to make it to the May 16th meeting in the lecture hall. So, I'll try and keep this quick, as quick as possible at least. Here we go. Welcome, everybody. Firstly, I have to thank the Booster Club because they've been insanely helpful thus far. The Castellandas and Jen Proc now have been great. We've got a lot of things coming down the pipeline, but they would love some help. So anyone who is looking at helping in any level, seventh grade daughter up through 12th grade daughter next year, we would love to have you help out with the Booster Club. And then they also would like everyone to know that they can find them on social media for the best possible communication, Facebook and Twitter. So give them a like. So this is me. I have an email address. It is tlarose@sspps.org. Have anybody who you know wasn't able to be at the meeting on the 16th, just have them email me and I will get everyone this video and then the appropriate links also. I did make a somewhat serious, somewhat largely unserious coaching Twitter account because I noticed that everybody at South St. Paul has Twitter. So at Coach_LaRose, if you care to indulge in my bad jokes with me. So new stuff. The biggest thing this year is that, as you see here, the Minnesota the high school league is moving to 4 divisions for volleyball, which is long overdue. So St. Paul is Class 3A. Here is the sectional. You see that on your screen. 62 teams in Class 3A. So that, I mean, long term, that's a very good thing for the program to have a postseason with smaller schools. So the next thing I want to plug is the new Packer Strength and Conditioning Summer Program. This is for anyone entering grades 6 through 12. You see there various sessions on the right. This cost is $70, and that covers all 32 sessions. If you break it down, you can get way, way, way better for $2.19 a day. And I always like to compare this to these elite training facilities that we send, people to in the suburbs that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars. This is really a cool session. From 9:20 to 10:40 a.m., you will see on the right-hand side, session 3, female Packer program for all the female athletes. So I really, really am encouraging anyone interested. And then we also have a 6th to 8th grade session at session 5 as starting at 11. So I just think the biggest thing is to expect yourself to have to perform like an athlete, right? We have to expect this out of ourselves. So how do you do that? You got to get a lot better. Everyone needs to be bigger, stronger, faster, right? So no matter what sport you're playing, this would be something that all your coaches would encourage you to do. And I know I will be at several of these sessions to help out and get to meet people and stuff over the summer too. So this is a very cool opportunity. Apparel. The store will close on May 31st. It's open right now. You can go check it out. I'll have a link later on in this presentation. Also, the Booster Club will be emailing out links too. Here's some of the stuff. It's going to close May 31st. We are going to open the window again in the summer and give everyone another chance, maybe in July, to order stuff. We just want to make sure that we can get availability right now. There are some availability issues with COVID and material scarcities and stuff. So we want to make sure that we can get this going right now just to make sure that everything is kind of locked in. And you see there's some shirts and some sweatshirts and stuff. Nothing is required at all by the players. You see the shoes and knee pads and stuff. We aren't going to do team shoes and team knee pads. And I just really think that that's one of those things that isn't necessary. But a lot of cool stuff. So check out the store. Got a few different logos you see on the screen on different apparel. The spandex here that you see are a 4-inch inseam. And I think some players might think that's a little long, but you just make the call on that. Everyone does need all black bottoms for games. So you can get them there, you can get them elsewhere, or if you've already got something lying around, just use that. So the other thing, the new thing this year, we got a new set of uniforms coming in. So these are what they're going to look like. The maroon on the left will be the main varsity uniform. The gray will be the libero kit. These are going to be for the varsity, and then everything else will be distributed downward a level as we need to do that. So These are coming in. Cool design, Under Armour apparel, and new uniforms. So I'm really excited for these. They look good. Schedule. I do have a Google Calendar. You'll see that QR code on the document at the end for a Google Calendar, which you can download. You don't have to, but I think it gives every practice date and time and match location and bus times all in one Google Calendar. You can have it pop up right on your phone. I know that the athletic department will email everybody periodically when dates are, but I think this is just seems like to me the way to go. So I made this Google Calendar for everybody. We're going to start with 10 we're open gym kind of dates throughout the summer. We're going to go right after that female strength and conditioning program. Starts at 11. You have 20 minutes after the end of strength and conditioning to grab a snack, make your way up from the weight room to the competition gym, assuming if we're in there, if we're in the pack, obviously that's right next door. So those are going to start June 22nd. I do want to give everyone a couple weeks after school gets out to decompress and then by the time June 22nd rolls around, I always remember back when I was in school getting bored right around a couple weeks into summer. So we'll start volleyball stuff going on then. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to noon. Nothing overbearing, 2 days a week, 1 hour per session. And then those will go all the way through the end of July. And then August 16th, as you see, that's our first practice. We're going to do morning practices that first week, 9 to 1. And then on 26th, that's our first match, St. Paul Johnson hosting. We have a very home-friendly schedule this year, which is always good. September 7th, that obviously Tuesday, is the first day of school and the middle school season. Be an exciting day for everybody. And then we'll have a postseason banquet at some point. The Booster Club will be communicating with you on that. That'll be November 2nd through 10th. I just kind of like to do that the week before the state tournament. If we aren't in the state tournament, then it's the end of the year. Winter seasons haven't started yet, and if we ever do get to the state tournament, then it's kind of a nice little send-off party. We can all feast like kings. We can get giant Renaissance Fair turkey legs and stuff. And then on the right here, we see Saturday tournaments. Varsity has 3 weekend affairs. JV has 1, and then so does the JVB team. And you see those, and those are obviously expected participation by everyone who's on that team. So practice. As I said, the week starting August 16th, we're going to run 9 a.m. to 1. You'll get a little break in there, half an hour, give her maybe 45 minutes in between the two, kind of in the middle of that session. Bring a little snack, nothing ridiculous. And then weeks 2 and 3 to be determined. The determining factor on when we'll have practice for weeks 2 and 3, that's still before school starts, will be if I'm working at the school district or not. If I am, there would be new hire training those 2 weeks. So I would need to be in those. If I'm not working for the school, then I would like to have morning practices and give everyone their afternoons to themselves. And then weeks 4 and beyond, that is when school starts. We're going to practice 3 to 5, and I'm very, very adamant that 5 p.m. is the cutoff for practice. So parents, if you're looking to pick up your daughters, they should be ready to go by 10 after 5. Otherwise, they're taking too long in the locker room. And then we'll have practices, kind of those will run similarly to how they had in the past. Varsity and JV in the competition gym, and the other 2 teams or whoever else is left will be in the pack until school starts, and then we have to work in the middle school teams, so we might switch some locations around to be determined once school starts. Practices start right at the posted start time. That means nets have to be up by then. So when practice starts at 9 a.m., that doesn't mean walk in the door, obviously, at 8:58. Put your shoes on, right? We need to have everything set up, ready to go so that we can start our warm-up at 9 a.m. Same thing with 3 p.m. once school starts. So obviously no phones in the gym during practice. Just keep that stuff wherever you keep your stuff in the locker room. And then I do have a handful of days. I looked at the schedule, and as you see on the top, my 2 favorite volleyball stats are the physical and mental health of all of our players. So here we are in Mental Health Awareness Month. And I just think that high school sports are, I really think that if you tracked how efficiently teams practice and how much they practice, you'd find that most teams practice too much because they aren't very efficient with their practices. That's why I stress the start times. But I do have 5 dates throughout the year where there certain teams or everyone will not have practice just because of the way the calendars fall. The first one obviously is Labor Day. We're not going to practice on Labor Day, so enjoy your weekend. September 17th, we have the 2 days before that, the Wednesday, Thursday, we have back-to-back home matches. So JV, B, and the freshman teams will not have practice on that Friday because they'll be coming off of back-to-back late match nights. Varsity that night goes to Heritage Christian. And actually, that's a Friday, Saturday. So the varsity team will have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 4 match days in a row. And the JV has maybe a short practice on that Friday the 17th because the following day, the Saturday, they have their only tournament at White Bear Lake. And then Monday, September 20th, there won't be JV or varsity practice because varsity will be coming off of their 4 in a row. So I'm going to give them 2 days off, a Sunday, Monday. JV, same thing. Friday, October 8th, there won't be JVB or freshman practice because maybe even JV to be determined on that because we don't have, as you'll see on the calendar, we don't have any matches for quite a while. So, and then Wednesday, November 20th, that should say October 20th. Let's change that. November 20th as well after the season ends. That's the end of the regular season. There won't be any varsity practice that day. The sectionals won't start until the following Tuesday. Actually, I think that should say Tuesday also. Let's check. Yeah. No, it is Wednesday. My apologies. Wednesday, October 20th. Wednesday, October 20th. There won't be any varsity practice because, as you see, we'll be playing here the Tuesday against North, and then sectionals won't start until the 26th. So that'll give me a good chance to debrief with all the younger players, and then we'll have plenty of time to practice for our sectional match the next Tuesday. So this is what the calendar will look like if you download it. So what do you need for practice? I don't really care at all what you wear to practice as long as you can like practice effectively in it. Shoes, and I'm not concerned with what color shoes are. I know sometimes coaches want you to have a certain color. I'll let you wear whatever shoes you want. Have some knee pads and a water bottle. That's really it. Ankle braces. I do highly recommend ankle braces for front row players just because any volleyball season you're going to have 4 to 5 sprained ankles, and it's almost always not the fault of the person who sprains their ankle. Usually someone else comes under the net and you land on them. So I'm not going to mandate ankle braces, but I highly, highly recommend them. It's one of those issues where you can turn a 3-week ankle sprain into a 2 or 3 day ankle sprain, and then you're gonna, potentially not lose your spot to somebody else because you put some things on your ankles. And then for matches, have all of that same stuff plus black uniform bottoms. And then just make sure with the bottoms, I know that I've been a volleyball official for almost 10 years. So I know that officials are a little bit more strict with uniform, and they've been really cracking down on the bottom uniform restriction or the size requirements. The logo can only be small. You can't have Under Armour written across the waistline of your spandex or whatever you're going to wear. And then you can't have a colored waistband either, even if there's nothing on it. It has to be solid one color, and it all has to be the same color. We're just going to go with black. You get one small logo, and it can be like 2¼ inches or some ridiculous measurement. No one will ever come and measure the logo as long as it's modestly sized and not along the waistband. So, and I'm not super concerned with what you wear for matches. You can spandex, obviously. I'm a big fan of shorts for reasons. Just I think they play better in them. I don't think your thighs don't stick to the floor because your thighs are covered. But whatever, you're going to wear what you're going to want to wear. So I'm not going to police that. Home matches, JV and the varsity, this is a little different. We're only going to have JV and varsity in the competition gym. For home matches, the pack is able to have more side-by-side courts. There's just more space in the pack, so we can run the JVB and freshman games at the same time, meaning that we'll only have to set up one net in the competition gym. So we're going to do that. The varsity has to be to the start, be in the gym at the start of the JV match. We'll have varsity players help out with the warm-ups a little bit. They're going to shag and then actually hit some down balls maybe, just because one coach hitting to uh, 14, 15 players is always super inefficient. So then likewise, lower level players, JV players and JVB and freshman players expected to stay throughout the varsity match, help shag during warm-ups, and then just scream a bunch during the varsity match because that's what we should do, right? And then this is new. We're going to start this out looking for fourth through sixth graders who want to be ball kids, preferably ones who like want to play volleyball at South St. Paul when they're older. So what you'll do is you'll get a signed volleyball from the varsity team and the coaching staff, and you'll get introduced with the varsity lineup before the match starts. If you are one of the kids, and then we'll just rotate it. So I'm sure you've seen this at other matches. They'll have someone here, and they'll roll the ball back and forth as the volleyballs get rotated in and out. We'll probably have them spray down the balls once in a while, just because even long after COVID's gone, that's still not the worst idea to make sure everyone's not passing around germs. And then also the Booster Club is always looking for people to help with concession stand. So you'll be hearing more from them regarding that. Away matches, you have to travel to and from the away match with the team on the bus, unless there is some very, very worthy exception. And we'll, obviously that's something that we'd want to have communicated before we leave. Hey, I won't be riding home because whatever. And then you'll have to have a parent note and a reason to ride home separately. I will post bus times in the Google Calendar, and then also I'll send out a message in GroupMe, which is just the app we're going to use, and you'll learn more about that. I'll send out bus times the night before, because I know that sometimes that's can change and whatever. So here's what the program will look like top to bottom. Varsity, obviously the goal at the varsity level is to put the best team you can out there and win as many volleyball matches as possible. JV, I do believe in a smaller JV roster size just because that's not a level where sitting the bench is at all helpful. Because I look at the JV as like your next generation varsity players. So that's one of those where we see you as filling a role on the varsity team soon. So that'll be a smaller group size, and then the JVB, the sophomore, the freshman teams will be determined by it's all remaining players, and we'll sort them based on needs, position wise and age wise. So obviously, with any youth sport, probably playing time is the most awkward thing to maneuver as players and as parents and as coaches. So here's the line of communication. I really do emphasize, as you'll see in our handbook here, that just talk to your coaches at an appropriate time, and always be conscious of the way you're coming and you're projecting this. So that's just the best way to go about this. Talk to your coaches. We like to hear it from the player first rather than from the parent. But if the player has a chat with their coaches and they still feel like this problem is unresolved, then we'll move on to step 2, which would be parents can talk to the coaches and if a need be, involve school administration. And then number 3 would be meeting with superintendent. Hopefully nothing ever gets to that level. So, and then we have the same policy that I'm sure other coaches have told you. Just wait till the following day, sending out hot take emails after a match generally never seems to end well. So, and then here's just a list of all the things that our coaches are going to be taking into account when determining who's playing. Communication. We're going to use an app called GroupMe. Maybe some of you have used this before. It's pretty simple. I already have groups created, so you'll scan a QR code here at the end of this and you'll jump into the group. One thing with GroupMe, it does want you to leave a comment right away. Otherwise, it might boot you out thinking you're not in the right group or something, or you're lost. I don't know. But people have been booted out in the past if just throw an emoji, and you only have to do it once. You don't have to reply to every message ever. But just leave some sort of comment so that you can permanently stay in the chat. And then we'll have separate chats. I'll have a parent chat for all parents in the program. That's where I'll put bus times and all that stuff, any important dates, team meals, information like that. We are planning team meals maybe for Wednesday night. I think that kind of seems like it'll fit because we play every single Thursday of the season. Like we don't have a single Thursday without a match once that second week of practice starts. So Wednesday nights seem like a good night. I know a lot of other programs do meals and volleyball, and the Booster Club it told me that that's something they very much would like to do. So we'll coordinate all that through GroupMe, and that'll be fine. And then there'll be a player chat too, and then we'll have separate chats once teams are picked. You'll have a varsity GroupMe and a JV, whatever. So athletic code and eligibility. Please be eligible to play. One thing, obviously, we're not sure what school looks like in the fall. If there are online options, will we have volleyball players that'll be online students? Certainly could be the case. So there very well could be online attendance policies that would mirror the in-school attendance policies, which says you have to be at school by 9:57 in order to participate in a contest or practice. A parent guardian signed note from home is not an excused absence. This is the kind of stuff that I take very seriously. I do believe that, as it says up at the top, participation in school activities is a privilege and not a right, and that comes right from our handbook. So if you've got some sort of thing coming up, especially with seniors, we've got college visits, entrance exams, whatever. Just talk to your coaches in advance. Real life does exist outside of volleyball, and real life outside of volleyball is very, very big and very, very important. So we don't want to, be the ones holding you back. But we have to make sure this stuff is communicated, obviously. And then you do have to have a 1.7 GPA from this current spring trimester. Or you'll be sitting out the first 2 weeks in the fall. A couple things left here. Managers, we do have some needs for managers. I haven't found anybody yet. I don't really know anybody. So if you know anybody who you think would fill that role really well, pretty minimal duties, but let me know. That would be appreciated. And then fundraising. The concession stand on match days, that brings in a little bit of money. And then the Booster Club will hold some events. These are just events that I know they had done in the past, taco dinner, grocery bagging, restaurant work, etc. And then our big fundraiser, which I will be sitting down, hopefully, where it sounds like that Mr. Sexauer and the activities department is very excited to see where see where this goes, our little project here. Create a live stream network that would sell business advertising, commercial on-screen advertising. We would air home sporting events and other things, prom, graduation, whatever, potentially. And then we would sell ad space to businesses. And that would be my goal is to make that the only fundraiser that we need to do so that maybe grocery bagging doesn't have to happen. So stay tuned for that. We'd like to get that going in the next handful of months, obviously, before the fall season starts. So long-term program goals, this is where I'll wrap it up. Don't overplay, don't overpay. Just get a little bit better every day. We say 1% better. If you could get 1% better at something every day, you would become so good at something so quickly. But 1% is pretty attainable within a volleyball practice, within a 2 or 3 hour volleyball window. My ultimate goal is to create a school and community-wide volleyball program that's built on doing things correctly, and the idea that youth sports should be educational, motivational, and worth it. It should not be something that runs your life or, that we just fixate over from the second we rise to the second we fall asleep. But it also should be something that we want to do. We should be worth it. We want to develop talented and respected multi-sport athletes and multidimensional young women at South St. Paul Secondary who grow through the game of volleyball. Multi-sport, I want to emphasize that we are as focused as ever and having our athletes play as many sports as possible here. And then, so you see on the right, I do have our past 10 season records. And this is something I hadn't brought up, obviously, through this part in the presentation, because I don't feel like it's super necessary to dwell on the fact that the program hasn't been super successful in recent years. But there are the records, and it is entirely my intent to change that. And I really think that if we do these top couple of things above this line, then that record's going to take care of itself in a quick hurry. And then the two things I have below the line here on the bottom of your screen, those are some projects I had taken up at my last school. I didn't really talk about myself that much on the screen with my face on it. I'm Tyler LaRose. Let's go back to that screen. I'm Tyler LaRose. Um, I am a volleyball coach. I've been a volleyball coach for about 9 years at varying levels. I have coached everything from 12U up to college. I was an assistant coach at the University of Wisconsin Superior for a couple of years. And I spent the last 6 years teaching high school Spanish and coaching volleyball in Ellsworth, Wisconsin, where the cheese curds come from, if anyone's ever made it out there for some cheese curds. But that's where I have dwelled the last 6 years. But I'm here now living in St. Paul and coaching here at South St. Paul. And this is going to be fun. It's going to be really, really fun. So these things below the line were a couple things I'd always kind of put on my list of like, this is when this program becomes everything that it can be. Developing future coaches and officials for lifelong enjoyment of the sport, and that kind of is two different things lumped together. So I would love to, and I did this at Ellsworth. We started a program where our varsity, particularly our junior and senior varsity players, became the coaches of our winter youth league teams. Just because that allows parents to just be parents. Parents don't always have to feel nervous stepping up to coach. It gets our messaging consistent throughout the program because the things the girls are telling the youth players are the same things that we're coaching the girls up within practice. And then it gets coaches some coaching experience. It gets those girls looking at the program from all perspectives, and that's just one of those things that really can help build cohesion over the course of a few years. And then officials, like I said, I've been an official now for ever since college. It's been a while. So I know that officials are getting older and older, and fewer younger people are getting into officiating. And there are plenty of reasons for that. So COVID really did derail this project for me in Ellsworth, but I was this year I was going to start an officials clinic in school for as a part of summer school, and then we'd continue into the school year for basketball and volleyball. I was going to help high school players get licensed so they could work weekend tournaments and stuff like that. And then the thing at the bottom was something I picked up at UW Superior because the college season is a lot longer. Halloween practices. The couple of falls I was coaching there, I always had a Halloween practice, and everyone wore costumes to practice. And I just thought that was like that. That for me was the most fun volleyball has ever been. So Halloween practice in high school though means you're having a pretty good postseason. So I think that's attainable. It's nice for a couple of reasons because you're having a good season, and Halloween practice is the most fun practice you'll ever have in any sport, guaranteed, or you'll get your money back. So yeah, that's really it. I think, like I said, this is the perfect time to. I think with COVID and everything, last year was weird, right? Hit the reset button, like you see on the screen there. Let's just all collectively as a program reset and really make this what we want it to be. I don't see any reason why we can't. I mean, is there anything standing in the way of South St. Paul volleyball really that different from other schools? It's just we need a little bit more. Just need a little bit more, and that'll be what I'll bring to the table. I guarantee it. So, let's leave you with a couple things to think about. Things will be very different at times, and that's totally okay. I already have the first week of practice planned out, and I can guarantee you that almost all of the things that we're going to do on day one, Monday, August 16th, 2021 rather, will be totally new things you have never done before in volleyball, and that'll be just fine. Um, we'll have a lot of fun, just not every time. You're probably not going to go home every day saying, "Oh, Coach LaRose is my favorite person." Do I want you to hate me? No, but it is my job to challenge us on as many different fronts as possible. So, and obviously, we're not going to build this program up if we don't hold ourselves to a higher standard on the court. So just keep an open mind, everybody, coaches, players, parents, everybody, keep an open mind, and we will get a lot out of this. That'll be my final little promise to you. So again, if anyone's interested in helping out with the Booster Club, you can email me, and then we'll pass that on. We'll have Booster Club meetings starting up in July, and then ignore the second bullet point. That's for people that were at the meeting on the 16th. So with that, I will just show you a couple things here. This is the handbook. You'll get sent a copy of this if you contact me. It's just one page, kind of based on my things, my beliefs. And our beliefs here as a program. So here's the apparel order. You can just scan these. These are the three things that we need the high school players to do. The calendar is optional. The GroupMe app and the survey are required. And then high school parents contact info is required. And then there's a couple other questions in there. The GroupMe app, that's highly recommended. That'll be the easiest way ever to communicate. So just download GroupMe and then click this QR code. And then there's the same Google Calendar for parents so they can know practice times and stuff. And then middle school parents, just a quick contact info from you, and then a middle school Google Calendar. The middle school season doesn't really exist yet. The junior high athletic directors are kind of working that out. So we don't have any dates on that middle school calendar yet. You won't see anything there, but you can download that in the future as the calendar starts to coalesce. So with that, I'm really excited to get to meet everybody. I think this is like definitely the thing that in my life that has been keeping me going during COVID and during as we see the pandemic hopefully start to end here. I think that again, August is part of this reset that I want for everyone here. August might be the perfect time to just get together and kind of like try and take over the world with volleyball. So let's plan for that. This will be fun. So thank you for listening to this. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, tlarose, TLAROSE at sspps.org. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon enough. Thank you.